Why would you allow that thing to prove itself? Is that the means that we should choose to take life in order to prove that there is Allah or there is Jehovah or there is that? No. And sadly enough, the men in authority who claim this faith take those decisions. That they themselves will not be put there. That man who says it's better for one man to die than a whole nation to perish, he also claimed of Jehovah. Because that's true, he was the head of the church at that time. He was the head of the group. If I were there or today, he's standing before me, all I'll say to him is, if it is so, okay, you take the man's life. But you also make the same claim of Jehovah. Let us know if you have Jehovah yourself, if Jehovah is on your side. Because now you are sitting on the high table chair. So you are saying that Jehovah put you there. Let's find out if Jehovah put you there. We are going to put you on the cross and crucify you. When we crucify you, let's see if Jehovah will save you, because he has put you there. That means he will make sure that you don't die, because he wants you to stay on the seat and be the head of the church. But him, it didn't occur to anybody, because he doesn't go out there openly to do that. He was giving the orders behind the scene. Whichever way, he condoned and accepted the fact that he gave the authority and something that the man was crucified. Because when he spoke, the crucifixion will go on. And he spoke. It's written in the Bible. And the crucifixion went on. They took the man's life. They took the man's life. Today they worshiping the same man. They took his life, the man's life. Just that it's a different group of people. So you can't point finger. But those who really crucify him, they're dead and gone. They lived their life to whichever time they have to live their life. And they died. Some of them felt guilty and regretted in whichever way, and they died. You regret or you don't regret, you've done that terrible thing already. The person who took gun and shot Malcolm X, his own black people or white people, whichever way it is, I think it was a black people, which he was having issue with his own mentor, who was Alhaji. It's not Alhaji, it's something Prophet Muhammad or something at that time. Moses or something, I forgot. That was he was the Islamic leader at that time when Malcolm X was converted himself into Islamic thing. He was there. And this man was like having some private ways that Malcolm X began to become insolent and stubborn towards him and revealing this thing publicly, and there was some rivalry between them. So now among the Muslim group, some were on his side, the side of the boss and the side of Malcolm X, and they plotted to take his life. So they took his life in a way, even though he was a violent preacher in certain ways in the side of the Islamic people. His life was taken. Now the person who killed him, whatever reason that person has got, creating vendetta among himself and others. Somebody was caught into prison for a long time because they thought he was the one who did it. You can imagine. But whoever shot that man, you ask yourself, if that person tells that he is right, he thinks he does it for God, or what did he do? He did it for Allah. Put that person there. And that's what normally happens. They say you take a life for a life. If you kill people, you have to be killed too. But I'm saying here that let's put it in a different way. If you are religious or you are not religious, always think that there is an authority there. The divine God. The divine God you believe in is not a shrine. It's not a statue. He's a living God that can speak, that have given you the rules and laws and all that. Surely, he should be the one to carry out the execution. If you kill that person in order to prove that he's there, okay, fine. But you are also standing up every day making the same claim of the existence of a divine God, and you sort of stand as the head of the church. So that means you being as the head of the church, you are there as the head of the church to challenge your own faith. How did you get there? That's why I say that the leaders that has come, that has been materialized there, they are there with their clothes on as if they are the leaders, but they themselves have their own doubts about the existence of God, because for a long time before they get there, they realize that so They get appointment there because of those who strongly believe in them, the idea of the challenge of who God should be, of what God should be, who votes them there. And so the negativities has dominated the positive side of things. The good and evil, the evil among us, or the good that we have consumed, the evil that we consume, overcomes the good. And that is what makes the appointments. So whoever gets appointed to a certain place was not voted there because of good people voted him there. It was evil people who voted you there. There are more dominant evil people than good people. Now, you want me to prove that to you? I've proved it. I've quoted a lot of things. But as I said, negative and positive, we get negative answer. So obviously, what I'm saying is all leaders, not necessarily leaders. All leaders, fine, yes. But it's not just about the leadership. In us as individuals, as people, we have generated evil and good. And we have more evil in us than good. If you are able to stand strong to make your good override your evil, you become a weaker vessel. And people take advantage of you. So if you have the balanced state, that's fine. But you have control of both, and you can control yourself in a state that good, that not just drown you or anything, but somehow you demonstrate your goodness when you have or when you can demonstrate it at your own expense, at your own time, where it will not be taken advantage of. Then fine, that's entirely, you have that self-control ability. But mostly, if you don't stand out with that evil character of you, you get drowned easily by others. Because people are always alert in using their evil means to get wherever they have to get to. And they are dominant. We are dominant. It's rampant. It's rampant. I mean, believe it or not. What am I trying to say here? The result is there before us, the leadership. The individual yourself, you look at your own life and ask yourself, what have I been doing according to what I know, what my morals teaches me to tell me good and wrong? What have I been doing? I know the things I do every day, the thoughts I have every day. According to my morals, it might not necessarily that we are evil. I'm not saying that the leaders are evil or the generation is evil. But according to the very things that we claim to believe, we claim coming from whatever worship or belief or faith we are into, that makes us judge ourselves and judge each other. According to that is what I am saying, that we are evil. That we have more evil dominating our life than good. Than what we see as good or what we should see as good. The rules and regulations are there. You analyze it yourself. Do you follow? You can't follow it. You don't follow it. So if you don't follow it, are you good? No, you are evil. According to the test, according to the book, according to your norms, according to your own moral ways. If you are doing that, you are evil. If you want to tell me that I'm not following the rules and regulations, but I'm good, you are just being stupid. That's all. How can that be? How can that be? Is that really logically something right to say or to think? These are the laws of Britain. You are not following the laws of the country, and you say that you are good. How can you say you are good if the laws of the country is what describe you, or it is what defines you to be a good person or a bad person? Laws and moral laws is what defines you to be a good person or a bad person, and you are not morally, just or morally, correct in every way. You're not a moral. You are not living the moral standard that you're supposed to live, and you say that you are good because you want to say you are good. You've not met the standard. You don't have that required required status that is expected of you to be in. So you definitely are not good in the eyes of others or any other. But that is the view in the sense of what we believe. But if we have no rules of that nature, and our common sense is looking at things, we can really see that there are most of the moral things or moral standards or norms that we sort of see are irrelevant. And so then, in that sense, you will not necessarily be condemned based on the moral or the laws of anything. But you will be seen correctly in a more honest and natural sense way of whatever you are. and you can't easily be looked down or be judged. But that requires the act and